All right, Biashara Tuesday is back on air. Hashtag Biashara Tuesday, hashtag Rise Today, at KUTV Kenya, at KUTV_Kenya, at Richard Okenya _ at Ojwang Mariam. I think that's it. You can tag us there and we will see your feedback. DM us, utuambie tweet zinawaka moto hapa hivi. Watu wamekasirika sana, and I'm glad that we have time to read all of this. The one thing we're not going to talk about today, and I hope it's not in the papers, is the kind of distraction we were shown. I was going to say something else. We were shown yesterday on social media, which is a distraction on the political front of who wants to be what, when, with who, and has employed who to do what. I'm not going to speak about that here on this show because that discussion is also part of what they are trying to do to get you in it. So KPIs have been ticked from yesterday. If you didn't know, you're angry, but you're contributing to someone else's KPI. So avoid that conversation. Nasikia, tutongelee hiyo siku ingine. For today, we are looking at the Standard, the Business Daily, and the Daily Nation. What are the headlines saying, and also what is online saying? I think we should include Twitter as our extra newspaper because the headlines on Twitter are as fire as the headlines on the paper, if not more. And they have reactions and they're on real time. So we'll also look at that. The church has something to say. It said last night, in the government's fashion of releasing statements at night, they did the same thing yesterday evening. The Archbishop of Nairobi from the Archdiocese amesema kitu. I'll read parts of that letter on what has been said to President William Ruto. We're looking forward to see the reactions from government. Lakini tuanze na headlines. Alafu introduce the gentleman I am with here. The Standard has a picture from Lebanon, and it's first for us here to have a look at the war in Israel and how it's spread to other nations. Kenyans who are living in Lebanon are calling on the government to intervene and rescue them from the wrath of Israel bombardment, as lives have been turned upside down since the invasion began last month. We begin there, where first things first is, I wonder how the Standard keeps missing these typos on the front of the Daily. Ini mara ya ngapi nimeona typo mbele ya Standard. So in this blurb under the headline, they've written evasion. Sijui kama mliona hiyo wenye wako na Standard, imeandikwa evasion. Mimi ushangaa. Hawakuona editor, yeah, there's a typo in front of the Standard. But the headline is Save Us from Israel Bombs. And there's a picture of a women representative from Mombasa who's also talking about this crisis. We'll talk about it. The Business Daily. Kenya seeks UN's help to tame Elon Musk's Starlink. Then there's a silhouette or like a blurry photo of Elon Musk behind a Starlink dish or something with a Starlink sticker. But then again, the Business Daily always fails by picking the correct picture. So the Standard fails with typos. The Business Daily fails by lack of imagination in the image they use on the front of their paper. If it's about CBK, najua tungekuwa tuna ile image moja tu ya mbadi ya National Treasury. They have a very small library. Get me to help you with enriching your library of photos. Kenya seeks UN's help to tame Elon Musk's Starlink, but it could as well read Safaricom seeks UN's help to tame Elon Musk's Starlink, because we know they're the ones who are most aggrieved by this Starlink entrance into the market. They're saying it's unfair competition because of the kind of tariffs and the high-speed internet they're offering. They've taken over. Tax pains at the bottom there. Tax pain as Treasury eyes 343 billion in new finance bill. This should have been the main headline of the Business Daily today, but I guess they've spoken enough about the taxes. Treasury is seeking more and is trying to excite you to go to the streets next by trying to put pressure on KRA to raise 2.732 trillion as tax revenues in the next financial year. So in June 25th, when people went out, they were going out because 2.6 trillion was the target, and they were like, no, that's a lot. Now the Treasury is saying, you know what, let's go higher to 2.7 trillion and see where else you can invade, because last time we tried this, you invaded Parliament and led to the president dropping the bill and cutting expenditure to the discomfort. This is what the Business Daily is calling it. After the bill was dropped, the government cut spending and widened fiscal deficit to the discomfort of the International Monetary Fund, the IMF. Who cares if IMF is in discomfort? But the Business Daily says they really felt that discomfort. I'll have Ojwang Mariam read us the headline on the Daily Nation and introduce himself, and then we get the fresh face on the show to also introduce himself.
Ruto's major purge of Gachagwa's ally is the headline of Daily Nation, whereby they are informing you that ukiingia ukurasa wa 4 na wa 5, the shake-up scheduled for this week affects 14 members of parliament serving in influential National Assembly Committee leadership positions who are viewed as sympathetic to ousted Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua. The changes are also informed by other recent political developments, including the co-option of Raila Odinga's party members to cabinet. Wameka picha pale za watu wenye lazima wanyolewe. Some of them wako na vipara, but no one cares as long as they were sympathetic to the ousted Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua. Lazima watapatana na shoka. Hawawezi choka hata wachoke aje. Now, before ni kuambie picha wameweka hapo hivyo, hii ya Rigathi, wameanza kumuosha pole pole. Unajua kuna time akiwa DP ulikuwa unamuona na tukoti fulani, unaona gadi hawa watu wake natuo tukoti to wazee wa Monanda, machairman huko vijijini wakivaa kama yeye. Wameanza kuchange. But let me not comment on picha Daily Nation wametumia and comment on the current typos tunaona kwa gazeti, especially the Standard headline. Alafu unaingia huko ndani unapata file footage kama zenye wametumia pale hivyo. File footage mingi sana. Si mtokee hiyo siku yenye wanapeana hizo press conference have new photos. Now, hiyo inakam na kitu nito practice. They say practice makes perfect.
Yeah.
Sawa. Hatukatai umeingia mahali huko unasoma na unatoka. In this day of digital age, watu wanatumia AI chat GPT sana such that they don't even care kuangalia the spelling mistakes. But ukikuja place ka KUTV, hauingii class peke, unakuja unasoma mahali unafanya kazi. Sawa. Juu siamini vile gazeti imepitia mtu mwenye aliandika, editor wake hapo juu, sub-editor, inafika mpaka kwa mse wa graphics mwenye alikuwa na nini, na bado inatoka na typos.
Kweli.
Inamaanisha there's some level of seriousness yenye haiko, and you can get it at KUTV Kenya when they are offering practical training in media. Kuja fanya kazi na kina watu kama kina Laban Shaban, head of news. Huyo jamaa anafanya kazi hapo hivyo na bado anasaidia katika uandishi uko nje. His expertise is needed out there. So mtoto wako akikuja hapa kama wewe ni mzazi, it means hao ndo watu wanapata. Anakuja anafanya kazi alongside hosts kama Richard Okenya, award winning. Anatoka hapo hivyo akiwa amenoa makali yake. Kabisa. Tukifanya hivyo hata wakienda huko Daily Nation, Standard kuandika hizi gazeti, unasikia mpaka utamu wa kusoma, una develop reading culture. Kabisa. But every time unashika gazeti unapata wanaandika hiyo invasive vibaya hivyo. Manze unashangaa, okay, si ningejiandikia tu hizi gazeti. Ndio maana watu wanahepea Twitter. Juu kwa gazeti ni stories za jaba juu ziko na spelling mistakes. Ladies and gentlemen, Ojwang Mariam.
Ojwang Mariam amefika kwa mpigo sana with a bang, of course, in his own fashion. His entrance, lazima entrance yake ikue heavy, just like that. Come to Kenyatta University television station and get those practical aspects to your media training, which can take 1 month, can take 3 months, can take a whole year. So come and do it. Apply. Check out the website, kutv.ac.ke. Check out social media. DM me and ask me about it. And work alongside us. Mimi nita make sure uwezi kuwa na typos design kwa sababu we. But if you see my work with typos out there, tell me, correct me tuone. But I am very confident that you will find none. Anyway, welcome to the show. Youth leader, Gatundu North. Yes. Mahali kumetoka presidents, mahali kumetoka Moses Kuria, mahali kumetoka
just name them. Na mahali ninatoka.
Na mahali pia wewe unatoka.
Hiyo sasa.
Karibu kwenye show.
Asante sana Richard.
Right.
Yeah, thank you very much. So with me here I have the Standard. Yeah, and what we have on the headline, it is Save Us from Israel Bombs. We have a picture of a lady here from Zamzam Mohammed from Mombasa. Also we have other captions here. We also have the issue of the church, because you understand last week and also this week. This week we have started we are hearing much about the church.
Yeah.
We know there is whatever is happening because the church has now come out to hold this government accountable.
Okay.
Because I think everybody now is feeling the pressure. So we also have the issue about the county government and also with the national treasury.
Nice.
We don't understand who is saying the truth. So the county government are saying that you guys, you have refused to give us money. You are telling then the national government, they are saying that we have given you money, everything. So who is who? What is not happening?
Right.
Also, I think we have quite interesting stories to talk in our country because of now. I think the only thing we should be doing as Kenyans, we should enlighten ourselves, because I think our country of now, on the recent past, we are actually headed in the very wrong direction. And the leaders that we have in our nation, being led by our president, they are living in denial. They can't accept. They are still trying to show us that our country is headed in the right direction, of which we are feeling, everybody is feeling that in every sector of our economy, it is not happening.
Right.
Yeah, so today, I'm privileged to join you today here. We talk because in our tribe there at home, we normally say talking is loving one another.
Say it in the language. Say it in the language.
In the language,
Yeah.
Kwirago kwariane kwedana. Yeah, so and you so
Kabisa.
talking, that is what we should be doing, because I feel even as young people we have a lot we should be putting in to put our government into checks and balances.
Right.
Because if our nation goes on wrong, then we shall be held accountable.
Yeah.
We shall say that where were we when the country was going differently. So as you said, my name is Muriithi Alex. Yeah, CIM, that is Certified Industrial Mathematician.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm a recent graduate from Jomo Kenyatta University of Agriculture and Technology. Yeah, and at JKUAT, I'm privileged. I served as the chairperson of the JKUAT gamer community.
Okay.
So I'm very much happy to be here, and I receive my greetings from my people, and I'm very much willing to share so that we can see whatever we can manage to do. Yeah,
Right.
thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Muriithi Alex,
Yes,
for joining us. CIM, which you said is certified
Industrial
mathematician.
Yes.
Damn. Those are the people that should replace Ndi, not whatever we have there in State House.
Yeah.
So let me read a bit of the church's message, and then we can talk about it before we get into the headlines.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, the Archdiocese of Nairobi. Nimetoka kuuliza producer wangu kama ni Archdiocese ama ni Archdiocese. Inasemwaje kwa wale Catholics in the house?
Mi nimezoea ak.
Yeah, it is
Twende nayo.
yeah.
Language ilikuja na meli.
Yes.
Archdiocese of Nairobi, the office of the Archbishop. Statement on adherence to KCCB directives on political donations to the church. I'll read the first paragraph and the last one. Greetings of peace from the Archdiocese of Nairobi. The Kenya Conference of Catholic Bishops issued a statement on 14th November 2024 addressing critical national issues that require urgent attention from the government. This statement was read in all churches within the Archdiocese of Nairobi yesterday, Sunday 17th, 2024. So that's 2 days ago from now. The Catholic Church strongly discourages the use of church events such as fundraisers and gatherings as platforms for political self-promotion. Politicians are urged to refrain from turning the pulpit into a stage for political rhetoric, as such actions undermine the sanctity of worship spaces. Hii huwezi andika na ChatGPT. Hii tumbi hii huwezi andika na Gemini. Hii lazima uandike hivi utype. Yeah? The last paragraph. In light of these directives and in adherence to the Public Fundraising Appeals Bill 2024 under Section 10(2), it is deemed that any person who solicits or receives money or a benefit conducts a fundraising appeal, regardless of whether the representation made was direct or indirect. Such fundraising appeals require a permit in accordance to the bill. Consequently, the donations made to Soweto Catholic Church on Sunday, 17th November 2024 are in violation of these directives and law. These include the Governor of Nairobi's donation. His name is Sakaja, if you don't know. The Governor of Nairobi's donation of 200,000 Kenyan shillings to the parish choir and the parish missionary council. The President's donation of 600,000 to the choir and the parish mission council. And the 2 million for the construction of the Father's house. Hapo tumefika ngapi kwa tali? Tumefika 22 million, 2.8 M, right? All right, tuendelee. These funds will be refunded to the respective donors. Furthermore, the promised additional 3M, so Traffica 5.8, the additional 3 million for the construction of the Father's house, as well as the donation of a parish bus. Bus ni pesa ngapi hivi? Mita kama 4 hivi. Kama 8 hivi, si ndio? 8-10. So tutafika 15 million, 15.8 pale. Furthermore, the promised additional 3 million for the construction of the father's house, as well as the donation of a parish bus by the president, are hereby declined. Politicians are most welcome to attend to the church for spiritual nourishment, but they are encouraged to do so as ordinary Christians without leveraging their position for political gains. Yours in Christ's service. Signature moja refu. Reverend Philip A. So apologies as I had skipped CIM. Kidogo ni skip hii pia. Yours in Christ's service. Signature. Most Reverend Philip A. Anyolo, Metropolitan Archbishop of Nairobi, underlined in bold and black color. Reactions. Tuanze na Ojwang,
For a
Mariam.
very long time, this country has had a voice of someone who is not God. 2022, the church was convinced that God had spoken and had appointed and anointed William Samoei Ruto as the man to hold the presidency. The church was so vocal, and the church was not doing wrong. The church is supposed to be vocal. The wrong they were doing is representing which voice. Yes, you are vocal, but speaking on whose behalf? We had John the Baptist come to prepare way for Christ. The church was supposed to be the same, to do the same thing. The church is the hope. So I am glad that once again we are living in a life that Timothy Njoya lived and is still living, where you, as a church leader or religious leader in this matter, can speak on behalf of your people on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, up to Saturday. Not only on Sunday when you're lying to them for them to give you more offering. The church, for the very first time, is being truthful and combining forces to stand for the people.
Right.
Whatever you have read is also on page 8 of the Daily Nation, whereby the ACK are now supporting what the Catholics are saying in the country. Skiza. We, the ACK, fully support the Catholic bishops' statements to the nation. We believe that the government is yet to turn around the country and steer it in the right direction. So, for a very long time, sisi vijana pekee ndio tumekuwa tukiona kwenye tunaenda. Yet kuna proverbial saying yenye inasema that a young person cannot see hata akiwa juu ya mti, juu mzee ameketi. Nao wazee wanakubaliana na sisi sasa.
Hapo mahali wamekaa wanaona.
Wanasema mahali tumekaa, tumekuwa tukiona vitu ambavyo mnaona. Lakini juu nyinyi ni vijana, juu nyinyi ni Gen Z, nyinyi ni millennial, tumekuwa tukijua hamna maarifa, tumekuwa tukiona kama mnaona stories za jaba. Na ndio maana saizi wanakubaliana. We've been talking about people are being abducted right, left and center. And we don't know. To a point saizi, watu watawezi recognize the voice of Maverick Aoko. Because they still don't believe it's her. They don't know if she's still abducted or not. But the president of Kenya still insists that there are no such things. We've been telling them. We've been calling even upon IMF to make sure they are not meddling with these taxes. Ndio tuache kuoverburden watu, tuache kuleta finance bills ambazo zinakataliwa na Wakenya. Zinakuwa forced through our throats, through the parliament. Inapitisha mara ya kwanza na second reading pia. Mahali sasa rais amekaa chini, anataka kukunja kichwa kabisa, aseme, anaweka tick. Anasema, those Kenyan youths of millennials and Gen Z generations are treasoners. After kusema hao vijana ni treasoners, he still went ahead and did not assent to the same bill. Treasonous people. And then wanatoa huyo deputy wake kwa sababu deputy wake ni kisingizio. They don't care about the people, they care about their politics. Rumor is that our president is just a president but not head of government. That is why the former prime minister, Raila Odinga, still has a pass outside there in the, representing the country as head of government. The Daily Nation, Ruto's major purge of Gachagua allies is set to ensure that people like Ndendi Nyoro, Gathoni wa Mushomba, James Gakuya, Musau Vincent Musyoka, Wanjiko Muhia, Nimrod Mbai, Kariuki Mbai, all these people who are aligned to Gachagua are axed
In the favor of Raila
to
Odinga's
pave
people.
way now for a fully blown bread-based government. Oh, sorry, broad-based government.
Broadway's government, right?
But the church has joined us in this voice. Itakuwa ngumu sana unless Kenyans make the same mistake yenye tumezoea in the next voting election year.
All right. Muriithi,
Yes, sir.
your initial reactions to these statements by the church, as he said, there's more on the Daily Nation page 8, na nimeona Standard ambayo which both me and you have on page 10.
Yes, exactly.
Church reclaims its voice after 2 decades of silence and compromise.
Yeah.
So
So that is what the Standard have indicated here on the first page. Like the church finds its voice after 2 decades. I think whatever that is happening in our country, I think it is a serious matter. If you see, in the Catholic Church, we have 28 bishops. You see, all these Catholic bishops, they normally take charge, or like they are like under, they are taking charge of maybe quite a number of people. And you see, all these people, most of them, they are learned and they are educated. You see, they are leading our people, maybe about spirituality. But you see, still these people who are being guided in the church, they are being affected by whatever that is happening in our country.
Right.
First of all, what you need to understand that it will be actually this Catholic bishop or maybe something to do with the church, they normally take caution before they act. So if you see that this Catholic bishop, they decided to get a praise address and maybe hold the government accountable because of what is happening in our country, you should actually ask yourself, why is it that these people or maybe this bishop has decided to do so? Like it is not adding up for whatever the government is doing. You see, President Ruto, I think one character that is possessed by this government, every state person who is currently operating with this government, they have kind of tried to be hiding themselves in the church. They will, during the days, they will just do whatever they can do. The bad things they will do. Then on Sundays, they'll be the first ones to attend the churches and maybe attend the services. And they'll be at the pulpit to say that they have planned to do this. It is very shameful that this president of ours, I think during the time he was campaigning in 2022, we thought that he will be, he appeared like he's somehow like a deputy Jesus.
yeah, sent from
Because
heaven.
a saint from heaven. But I think in whatever that has been happening, he has been doing totally like the different. You see Jonah in the Bible was sent in Nineveh. But you see what Jonah did. Jonah, despite being sent to go to Nineveh to go and preach the word, Jonah went direct opposite. Jonah went to Tarshish.
To sherehe.
Yeah, to sherehe. But what happened? You see, God through his maybe happenings, he managed to maybe take Jonah to Nineveh because the word of God must prevail and it must be said. The same way, like the church has felt now, this is enough and enough is enough. Everything is not happening in our country. Whatever that the church, the Catholic bishop stated, for sure it is very true. You see, they are holding the president accountable for his words that he normally speaks. Our president is associated with lies. You see, in John 4 verse 44, it normally states, it normally say, or maybe I don't know the actual words, but it normally describes Satan as the father of evil and the father of lies. Anybody that lies, then you are associated to the evil. To Satan.
Yeah.
So what is president trying to do? You see, on last Sunday, even when he was at Soweto, if you dig behind what has been happening, you see there have been a lot of demolitions that have been happening in Soweto.
Yeah.
People have been being extracted from those areas. You understand? Now on Sunday, President Ruto now came in the church, very humble, very genuine, and is there giving a bribe. You are now going to the church to
bribe God.
You are even trying to bribe God. You see, Ruto, I think Ruto is in whatever Ruto is doing, or maybe his administration. Ruto is moving forward for 2 steps, then is going backward, running like running it, and we can't allow that.
All right.
That is why the Catholic bishop, despite whatever they said, they have tried to be faced with a lot of counters.
Okay.
But the church, the Anglican church yesterday, through their bishop also, maybe Jackson Olesapit,
Yeah.
he said that he's backing up because that is the true, and that is there is nothing about selfishness.
Right.
Ruto has been found of maybe hiding in the church, and we are actually coming and we shall get them out of there.
Right.
They should not hide. They should handle the reality.
Right.
The country is headed the wrong direction, and they should not be hiding even in the church.
Right.
Yeah.
Church reclaims its voice after 2 decades of silence and compromise. That's page 10. Last week, Catholic bishops called out government's failures amid rising public discontent, and in political fashion, of course, the president had to attend a church service in a Catholic church the same weekend after he'd received condemnations. And after trying to bribe God, as it's been said, this has been rejected in a collective voice by the Kenya Conference of Catholic Bishops. On page 11 on the Standard is where ACK and PCA join calls to condemn government misrule. I saw also Muslim leaders from the northern region of Kenya yesterday issuing a statement supporting this. SDA, Soya, kunaendaje? I've not seen your statement, but
Wataongea.
listen, I don't think I have seen politicians go to do donations in SDA church. So, which brings me to the next question, which also my producer is very concerned with, Ojwang. What changed? Yeah, in June, tulikuwa tunauliwa kwa streets. Watu wamekuwa kiabductiwa. And I remember during the first time when President William Ruto tried to reconcile with the nation, he called these same people, their leaders, to State House. Wakatoka wakiwa na bahasha sijui kani ya brown ama ni ya white. Apparently there's a difference in the political realm of those bahashas. Wakatoka huko tukawapigia kelele. There's a time we have tried to occupy churches. President William Ruto was walking around in services with heavy security, including military presence at the same time. What changed? Ni kichele kimepungua kutoka State House, or, which is my deepest conspiracy, Pastor Rigathi Gachagua Pastor Dorcas alifukuzwa Hustlers Mansion or Murima Mansion, sijui ilikuwa inaitwa aje after Rigathi aingie pale Karen. Inaweza kuwa kuna something else happening which is not them standing with the people.
Hiyo wacha niseme hiyo ndo the smaller picture. Kwanza nianze na the bigger picture, alafu niingie
to the micro picture. Okay.
One, the country is not headed in the wrong direction. We are coming from the wrong direction. Na tunakuja mbio, occupying everywhere, kusafisha na kuosha. Making way for 2027, clean politics, free and fair, and also sending a message that once we elect you as a president, it doesn't mean you are our king. We have not elected you to rule. We have elected you to govern, to be a representative of the people. That is one thing people will have shown the world, because the world is already showing us that the people of Bangladesh did it. The people of US said it's not about writing history. No, it is not about making you a president just because you are a woman. It's about the values of you as a person who is interested in that office. That is the bigger picture. Right. And the voice of the church is now coming to join the voice of what we've been saying, just like you've said it. So, kanisa, hapa ndo wanafaa kuwe mahali wako. See about what has changed.
Okay.
Kama ni mambo ya kichele, kwani hizo milioni tumetoka kucount hapo hivyo, Catholic wanarudisha, Anglican wanarudisha, si ni pesa pia? Unataka kuniambia huyo father angesikia vizuri angejengewa hiyo nyumba ya millions tano, but si wamekataa. That is what should happen.
Right.
The greatest enemy to our Kenyan politics is poverty, because 500 ndio inafanyaga uchague mtu atakutesa for 5 years bila kujua. But the heat is up and the politics of the country are blazing in a good way. Sawa?
Right.
So 2027 itakuwa a very clean and free and fair election process, and Ruto could win if we are not careful. I will tell you how.
Okay.
But before nikuambie how, gazeti la The Nation ukurasa wa 10, politics. Professor Kindiki was sworn in at an event skipped by many senior Mount Kenya politicians. We are talking about the second in command whose swearing in process watu walikuwa wamejaa KICC hiyo siku ni watu walikuwa wamevutiwa kichele. Ask me, niko ground, najua. From Risambo constituency, kila mtu mwenye alienda KICC ilikuwa ni free entrance. Hakuna kulipishwa, but bado watu waliingia, wao ndo walikuwa wanalipwa. The rest walikuwa wanaendelea nyumbani na biashara zao. Sikiza, the broken promise to Mount Kenya MPs on Gachagwa's successor, meaning that President Ruto had promised Mount Kenya MPs that when we send this village man home, we will come back to your village and look for a successor on merit.
Yeah.
Sio kuappoint ule mwenye alikuwa namba 2 kwa nini. That is not what happened. Juzi wametoka church upande wa Embu. See what happened. Archbishop Moheria ali introduce the presence of the president. Total silence.
Yeah.
Dead silence. Pin drop silence. Nini nyingine tulikuwa tunaandika kwa composition. Hizo types of silence zote. Wakaenda kwa Kithure Kindiki. Hata yeye mwenyewe hakusema ye. Silence. But when they mentioned the presence of the former president, the fourth president of Kenya, Uhuru Kenyatta, kila mtu
aliinuka na kushangilia.
That is the day Ahmed Nasir on Twitter told President Ruto, his friend, that please forget Mount Kenya. When President Uhuru alimaliza kuongea akienda, kila mtu alienda. Umeshika? But hapo ndo kuna presidency na hapo ndo kuna DP. So Rais Ruto sasa anajua hana kura za Mount Kenya na anataka kucheza tribal card nyingine noma tena zaidi. I wish Kenyans can see. Anataka kuonyesha watu wa Rift Valley that watu wa Mount Kenya
wanatukataa.
Wanatukataa aje?
Yaani naongea na sauti yake. Yaani nasema anaambia watu wake tunakataliwa.
Ruto anakuaga so personal. Anaongeleaga yeye mwenyewe, anajitaga chief hustler. Anasema nimepelekea hawa wa mlima maendeleo, wananikataa. Okay. Mnasema aje nyinyi watu wetu? Unaona? Aendaje kwa kieka yote.
Kwa kutetea wanataka kila mtu.
Lakini anasahau Moi University iko Eldoret. Inafunguliwa ikifungagwa. Kule ni rat. Unaona? Pata potea. Tunafungua, watu wanalipa fare, wanaingia shule inafungwa tena. Kisa ni gani? Tribalism inaendelea in his own backyard. That a VC who even had gone for an interview ananyimwa hiyo nafasi ndo kupewe mtu wake. Si wao wake. Okay. So the people of Eldoret wamekataa. The comrades wamekataa. The UASU Moi University chapter wamekataa. Hiyo inaendelea kwake. Meaning 2027 bado hana hiyo penzi yote. But an interesting thing may happen. That Okiya Mtata has already talked about him presenting himself for candidature of presidency in this country.
Okay.
Fred Matiang'i has done the same. Morara Kebaso has done the same. And for the very first time, bro, even if it doesn't happen in 2027, we are sure of a Kisi president in the near future of this country. If the next president will not be a Kikuyu venye imeishi, will not be a Kalenjin venye imeishi, trust you me, a Kisi will one day become a president of this country.
Kenya for president.
But sasa skiza Kenya.
Right.
President Ruto can use
Umesema
that.
He can still win.
Yes.
I'm waiting on that.
Ata win, ndio nataka kukuelezea. President Ruto can take advantage of that to go back to the 1992 politics when the former president Moi, the late Moi, said that amefungua section 2A ya katiba. Hiyo ilikuwa kuleta multipartyism. Hiyo ilikuwa kusema sio KANU pekee itakuwa kwa debe kuleta presidential candidate. Na hapo hivyo alitake advantage na akapita katikati yao. I am asking Kenyans to remember that in 2027. Okay. That round one, either Matiang'i ashinde ama Omtata ama Ruto. Na Ruto most probably juu atapita katikati. Deep state itakuwa side yenye iko na mzee kiasi. Sisi vijana wote tutakuwa side yenye iko na Okiya Mtata. Ruto can buy enough votes za kupita hapo katikati.
From both sides.
But our constitution is safe and it is fighting for itself.
Okay.
Imejitenga ikasema if hautakuwa president with 50+1, mtarudi wapi?
Utarudi kwenye ballot.
Kwa ballot. Na hapo ndo Ruto ataona mlango wa State House mara ya mwisho. Juu wataungana wale wenye walikuwa huyu na huyu waseme the goal is one.
Ruto must go. Must go, must go.
Jasema Ruto must go.
Must go.
There is hope. The country is headed in the right direction and I'm loving it.
So you're saying we are from the wrong direction.
Yeah.
Tukafika pale kando. Sasa ndo tunajaribu
na umesikia vile certified industrial mathematician amesema as tunafanya hivyo sisi tunaenda tu polepole kama kobe. Kuna mwingine alishakimbia like a hare in that parable.
Amerudi huko nyuma.
Sasa yeye anakimbia anasema wacha nirudi huko nyuma manzeni relax kiasi. Niko na baba hapa. Do you know who Raila Amolo Odinga is?
All right. Asante sana Ojwang for that reaction. I'm hoping that for sure the voice of the church is with the voice of the people, because that apparently is the voice of God. So the voice of the church has joined the voice of God. Finally, let's speak in one voice and address the issues which are there in our nation. And these gimmicks, tumezizoea. I mean, like, let's learn from them. Let's go to the Business Daily real quick before we come back to what is happening in the Daily Nation and the Standard. The headline is Kenya seeks UN's help to tame Elon Musk's Starlink. Ojwang, tulikuwa nayo tukiongelea Safaricom last week?
Yeah. Last week but last week mliongelelea kama siko.
Okay. So the Communication Authority of Kenya is counting on a United Nations agency to develop regulations that will control satellite internet providers such as Elon Musk's Starlink in the quest to fair competition. It reckons that the cross-border nature of Starlink, of using over 6,400 active satellites orbiting in space to provide low-latency broadband, has triggered a regulation puzzle. Yani, kwa sababu mmezoea kutax watu wakileta vitu Muriithi pale nikijaribu kuimport iPhone 16 Pro yangu, mnataka niwape email number, niwapatie tax ya yuko na ya hapa.
Ya hapa pia.
Elon Musk amesema zangu inazituma juu. Alafu mnazipokea. Tuone mtazitax namna gani. But that's not the issue is not tax really, but the issue is regulation, because now they cannot compete in that kind of space.
Yeah, sure.
Given that the telcos that we have in the country have not innovated to that level yet. Yeah. Elon Musk continues to subsidize the price. Next week anapunguza, anawaambia okay, mnaweza ichukua na walipa mdogo mdogo. Mnaweza rent actually. It's now you can rent a kit and pay a few amounts per month, per week, and to access internet kama kama lipa mdogo mdogo ya internet. Very super fast, speeds of up to 300 Mbps to 1.5 Gbps. Yani inamaanisha unaweza ona hii kipindi yetu yenye tumestream toka 7am hadi 10am, we download it in a second. Yeah, if it's 1.5 Gbps, it means in a second you have the show playing live. But jitters zimetokea. Safaricom came out a few weeks back wakisema there's need for regulation, Starlink should be regulated. Hiyo ikapiga kizungumkuti kidogo. Now they're hoping that the United Nations can help them. I don't think this is the Communication Authority. I think this is Safaricom. I can say it confidently kwa sababu inawajua game yenu ya town. There is that is happening, and at the bottom of the Business Daily is the Treasury trying to raise more funds for the next financial year, which is likely to bring us back to the streets. So regulation issues, which are at the top of the Business Daily. How do we save our local businesses from external competition, which is fair to Kenyans but unfair to our local businesses?
You see, I think in our country we have been experiencing a lot of things, especially with this issue of maybe external investors who are coming to invest in our country.
Yeah.
You see, now this is a very good example. And Safaricom and such companies that offer the same facilities, they are actually afraid. Yes, technology is good, and actually we should be embracing development and such things. But now you should look for the repercussions that will now be onboarded on this. You see, something like Safaricom, our infrastructure in Kenya, we are still trying to grow our infrastructure, isn't it? Most of the things we are trying to advance, and we are actually, you see, it is normally described the tortoise movement. We are still trying to walk slowly by slowly. But now there is this person who can even manage to come and give you even something for offer.
Yeah.
They can tell you, first of all, you guys can test this for the whole of this month.
Yeah.
You just be
Do it
using
for
that
free.
for free.
Mm.
Then there is these others, our companies here, maybe something like Safaricom, they require that day input. Your cash that you normally use to subscribe for their maybe their internet provisions, that is what they require to run their programs. So you see, if these companies, or rather this Starlink by somebody like Elon Musk, that person is a billionaire. He's not after money. He's actually after maybe other things, or maybe just trying to extend his, because he feels, or rather in his capacity, he has done more than enough.
Yeah.
So he's actually doing it. It's not a must, like
He's
it's
going
not
an
a
extra
must,
mile for him.
It's not a
So like
thing
he's thirsty for business.
yeah, it's not, it's just want to be there, you see. So there is this thing about regulations, because we have seen, we have other businesses that have ended up closing.
Yes.
You see, some of these issues are very serious. We don't want to lose our local industries.
Yeah.
You see, the government has a lot of issues. They have a lot of things that they are doing. You see, in this sector of maybe internet provisions, it has employed quite a number of people.
Yeah.
Those who people normally, they normally give out this issue about maybe they are giving the network and everything. It has employed quite a number of people. Now you can now consider like having these on board, and then we don't have a way we can be regulating it. I think on a larger extent, we might not see whatever it will be bringing, but in the long run, it will have a severe repercussion to our local industries.
I see the fear.
Yeah, the fear is that we need to regulate it. Let us be aware that if this happens, this is how it should be tackled. This is how it should be handled. Also now about the treasury, about maybe this collection of money. You see, the reason as why we the Gen Zs went into our streets back the other day, it was the same very reason.
Yeah.
Collection of taxes. You see, this government, I think it has gotten deeper. You see, there is a Bible verse that normally say even the little that the poor has will actually be taken from them. I think that is what the government wants to do. Despite instead of maybe enabling this person to get more money, maybe giving them, because if maybe Richard, I give you a way of earning money, then maybe I should not be getting, I should not feel bad. You should not feel bad if I need some little money from whatever I have shown you to get. But now this government has failed to provide maybe for the jobs. People are not working. Actually, people don't have money. Then the little that they are managing to get,
which they didn't show us to get.
Yeah, you didn't show us to get. Then you are organizing on how you will come and get it.
Yes.
Don't you feel like this government is now becoming punitive?
Yeah.
It is actually punishing its citizens. Yet while they were coming into office, they told us that we are coming to better days.
Yeah.
I think we have now gone to the worst days of our lives. I'm in conjunction with my brother who said that our country is actually advancing. We are actually heading in the right direction. People have realized that this political class, they have no interest on the people. Furthermore, you see, on the recent past, actually last week, the government spokesperson said that Kenyans have now eaten, because they said that the price of unga has reduced, and Kenyans have eaten and now they have started growing bellies. That is actually what the government spokesperson said.
In short, we are becoming too fat.
We are becoming too fat because we have it. But you see, it's not true. But whatever is happening, people are actually suffering. The gap between the rich and the poor is actually continuing to increase.
Yeah.
And it is high time that the government should know, like, first of all, they should provide that the people should be getting, they should be earning, so that they can come to maybe the issue of taxation.
Taxes, yes.
So I think on that, the government should get mechanisms that they should diversify the issues about mechanism, so that they can collect more, but they should not be increasing.
All right.
Yeah, you should even the issue of housing levy, the SHA, it is increasing. People are actually complaining. The payroll nowadays is very much reduced. Yeah. So we need to check on that. The government should not continue imposing higher taxes. It should instead diversify and collect from other sources. And to add on that, the government should be very much cautious on not embezzling and maybe misusing these funds. Because the painful part is coming, because if the government was maybe collecting all this money, then putting it into proper use, then we couldn't be maybe asking so much. Maybe we couldn't be complaining. But the reason as to why Kenyans are complaining, as Alex or maybe as Muriithi, the reason I'm complaining is after the government has collected all this money, then you will hear this has happened, there is a scandal, some 2 billion have been have been taken, and that is not the way to go.
Right.
we should revert on that.
That's not the
Yeah.
way to go.
Yeah.
I just want to remind, as we are still on that story on Treasury and Elon Musk's Starlink, I want to remind Safaricom that they're not Kenyan. They're not even Kenyan themselves. So
It's just
do
the
not do not be afraid of foreign investment. When you yourself are a foreign investor, it's under Vodafone, right? If I am not wrong. So Safaricom is just a sub company of a company based in the UK. Please, yeah.
Safaricom is worried.
Nyani haoni kundule.
Yeah.
Clearly.
They are worried as a business because there are other internet service providers.
Yeah.
I can tell you the number of people who are using Safaricom home fiber at homes are way less than people who are using other internet service providers. We have them.
Yeah.
In communities kule kwa vijiji utasikia kuna connect, kuna vuma, and they are mushrooming at a very high rate.
Yes.
In that same space whereby people have identified a niche because of Safaricom enjoying too much monopoly to a point wameanza kutesa their own customers. Everything you do wana make sure wamekukulia tusumuni. Na ni uto tusumuni nasikia tunatengeneza mpaka 5.8 trillion. The only product that is working in Safaricom is not Safaricom. It's M-Pesa.
Yeah.
Na hata hiyo M-Pesa, gazeti la Daily Nation, ukurasa wa 25 nasema, mobile cash transactions hit 6.5 trillion in 9 months. Skiza the shift. Telcos customers now receive money directly from any network. Meaning, M-Pesa pia itaguswa. So, kama wamechukua M-Pesa kama mlima, itaguzwa pia. Now, enters Elon Musk, who is or who has African roots, born in South Africa. Before afike huko US, amepitia tu challenges twenye tuko hapa Afrika na akajua venye ata capitalize aunde do. Alifanya hivyo na Twitter. Though pale amengangana sana kuita Twitter X, bado tunaita
Twitter.
But amenot kitu ingine that Kenyans who are consuming internet ni wengi sana and they are actually a business. Na the more you fight something, the more it grows. For example, watu wakipatia mwalimu wenyu nickname, aanze kukataa, ndo nickname ushika.
Hiyo ndo tunataka.
So hii yenye unasikia ati Kenya inapigana na Starlink, hawataki Starlink, hawataki Starlink. Ndo wana create more demand ya watu kutaka kujua, okay, na ni kwa nini hawa Starlink sisikii watu wakisema hawataki, nasikia Safaricom wakisema hawataki through jina Kenya. Unaona? Safaricom si ya Kenya. It's only the color that was right.
Yes.
The green.
Yes.
And the name Safaricom. Na ndio maana unaona Mkenya akipewa Safaricom, Safaricom haiendi anywhere. Since the current head alichukua, Safaricom imekuwa like inaenda kukaribia nini Telecom. Airtel hadi inapanda. The only big thing in Safaricom saizi ni marketing. Kitambo kulikuwa na gatekeeping ya line ya 0722. Juzi nimeingia Kawangware, watu wa line shika line for free. Nikapata 0722. Juu watu hawazitaki anymore. Unaona?
Right.
That's the only thing yenye imebaki kwa Safaricom. A good number, a good name and M-Pesa.
And M-Pesa.
Na zitaisha pia wakiendelea hivyo.
Kwa sababu teknolojia inasonga.
Ya kuwa kwa monopoly. Allow business to play fairly.
Yeah.
Monopoly does not mean there is no fair business. It means in that fair business you are the good boy in class. But Safaricom wanataka watu finya.
Okay, the only boy in class.
Hatuwezi kubali kuwa bullet.
And page 2 it says here on the Business Daily that Safaricom in July urged regulators to consider requiring satellite internet providers such as Starlink to partner with local mobile network operators, saying its present dealings could allow illegal connections and harmful interference to mobile Safaricom, please. So at that very end, let me just finish by saying that Starlink's entry in Africa has also been met with a lot of regulatory challenges in other countries, actually. So here the Business Daily is showing us several of these African markets which have classified Starlink as illegal within their territories. These include Cameroon, Cote d'Ivoire, South Africa, Senegal, and DRC. Actually, earlier this year, Cameroon ordered the seizure of Starlink equipment at ports as the provider was not licensed. As Ojwang is saying, the more you fight it, the more it grows. And this is technology. You cannot fight technology for too long. You either adopt or it swallows you alongside. So, SAF, it's time to innovate rather than fight these kinds of battles. Ojwang, ukusema hapa mambo ya tax pains before to move away from the business. Daily Treasury is seeking to get 343 billion in the next financial year. June 25th, people went out to the streets because they were trying to raise 303 billion. Saizi wamesema kama mlikasirika hiyo time bado sasa tunataka tuelekee juu zaidi.
Lakini si tumekuwa tukisurvive. Tumekuwa tukisurvive even after the courts in Kenya said that the financial bill ya Financial Act ya 2023 ilikuwa unconstitutional. Meaning we went to ile ya 2022 ya
unye.
Mimi kitu kimeniuma zaidi ni what the nation wameweka kwa back page. Hii back page inakuwaga ya michezo. Tunaekiago sports hapo. Lakini wameweka very serious matters that concerns anyone who wants to do a diploma anywhere in this country, anyone who wants to join a university, lecturers and students pamoja, whether you are from private universities or public universities. Kiza MPs in fact wameka football kadogo tu pale juu. Wakakwambia wewe enda ukasome page 34 na 35.
Mchezo mkuu ni huo wa shule.
But the elephant in the house is MPs reject bill stopping state from funding private universities. That the state wants to stop funding private universities. Wapeleke pesa wapi? Public. Ndo waweze kuziiba vizuri ni zao.
Kama Moi University.
You know ukizipeleka kwa private university ziko under someone else management. Ndio maana places kama Daystar, Riara, huko kote pesa Strathmore bado masomo yako sawa. Juu hizo pesa kutoka kwa government zinatumika vizuri. But ukiziingiza places kama Moi University zikuliwe na hiyo corruption na tribalism tunasikia zote zimepotelea. Saa hiyo watoto wamewekwa kwa band 1, band 2, band 3, band 4, band 5. Imagine unawekwa band 5 na hujui kucheza hata recorder ama aje sasa.
Wako kwa band.
Na saa hiyo mko twins. Haya, wanaongezea wanasema nao ingine. Varsities to stop offering diplomas under new law. That we have a new law yenye inasema House team says that there are overlapping roles of universities and TVET institutions. If you need a diploma, you go a diploma and certificate, unaenda TVET. Degree kupanda universities. Sasa wewe umesoma hiyo miaka yako yote, sasa hizi tuko kwa CBC. Unataka kwenda university. Unaambia uwezi enda university juu mahali kwa KCSE bado ziko. Zilikuweka chini ya C+, meaning uwezi lazima ufanye diploma. Ati wanakuambia hii diploma unaweza ifanyia pekee kiwanja polytechnic kwenye hakuna hata barabara ya kuenda. How will you get motivated to do such a course there?
I remember you saying some time back that deliberately we are raising a nation of fools for the next couple of years. Tutakuwa very uneducated, very literate, and it feels it's by design because that's a new policy that or a law that members of parliament, as you said, are trying to effect there. And the education system in general is still now in crisis. Maybe we get something from former Gema chairperson, emeritus. Yes. Education in this republic. We have varsity funding, which is, as Ojwang saying, placing people in bands ambazo hata hawezi afford kwenda uni. The government has actually put a pause on the new funding model until they figure it out. Just the same way they are telling patients to be more patient as they wait for SHIF to work. But on education, we have that university funding model. We have more university, which is collapsing. First years never attended class. School owes 8 billion shillings to the staff and lecturers. The lecturers in general in Kenya are on strike for their 4th week straight. And help doesn't seem to work.
In fact, it is more than the lecturers who are on strike. It is members of University Academic Staff Union.
Right,
kuna so lecturers, kuna wenye si lecturers, but non-teaching staff. Bora uko hapo kwa academic, wewe uko home umetulia. Sasa hizo university students ni kulia tu analia njaa juu hawatumiwi pocket money. Siulize huyu ametoka hapo kama chia sana.
Na bado hajamaliza KCSE.
About the current whatever is happening in the education system. When I was growing up as a very young boy, I really wanted to go to the university. it is very unfortunate that nowadays going to the university, it is not guaranteed. Or rather, going to the university and surviving and managing to come out of the university, it is not guaranteed. Personally, I have studied with HELB. I am a beneficiary of the government-sponsored student, and I think that is the very thing that made me go to the university and managed to pursue a bachelor's degree in industrial mathematics, and I graduated from JKUAT, one of the prestigious universities in Kenya. But now here is this government that is trying to tell us that we are advancing. We are trying to make it better. But what are we seeing? What are we hearing? What is happening in our country? You see, this issue about government funding models, I think this government, Ruto's government, it has a lot of projects that it is imposing. This government, I can describe it, you see, it is very hasty in implementing the ideas. I think when somebody suggests or maybe have an idea, they normally just air it out, and maybe after they just share it in one meeting or two, they say, guys, let's do this, let's employ this. And then without even informing people, informing the parents, who are the real stakeholders, who are the ones to be paying these school fees and whatever, then they'll impose. Then during when it is actually taking place, or maybe it has already been implemented, it is the time that the government will now come to try and adjust and convince us that guys, this thing will work like this. They are trying to test it while they are actually putting it in place. So you see the issue about HELB.
They're using us as lab rats.
The issue about higher education loan board. You see nowadays, people, I don't think students are receiving their money as we used to receive back then. You see, you are assured that if you apply for a higher education loan board, you will get this amount of money to cater for your fee. For instance, mostly our fees, they ranged to around 25,000, maybe 20,000 to 30,000. So you could get maybe a help of maybe 26,000. So you could maybe see, let me use this 10,000 to set for my school fees. Then this one, the remaining 10,000, I can use it for my upkeep. But of now, you see the government, it allowed like young students, those who are joining the universities, to join without even paying their school fees. That is what they did. Then now when they are in school, they are saying like you must now first apply. Of all pay. You must pay your school fees so that maybe you can do the exams, of which now some of the parents can't manage to do that.
Right.
So I feel like the government, it is trying to punish the student of a peasant, because there is no way you will tell somebody like doing you see most of these high courses like medicine, those people who normally do those courses, they normally come from peasants background. They come from humble background. Then you are telling that person that for you to finish up this degree, you will need
pay 400,000,
600,000 maybe to complete. And then this is what we will do for you, the government. You aren't even assured of whether you will finish that school. So the government is solely punishing the students and the parents. Because I feel the government took it and they sat with the vice chancellors and they decided that this is how we shall be handling this issue about the universities. Let us take this role back of maybe giving money to the universities. Let us hand it over to the parents. Let them be the ones to be catering,
to fund the universities.
But that is not what we elected this government for.
Right.
We thought that this government should even subsidize education.
Right.
Because education is a standard equalizer.
Right.
Everybody should be allowed to attain education and acquire education.
Right.
And you should not maybe be choosing on an issue about money. You should not be choosing what you should do. If you are actually your potential is to handle that engineering course, you should go and do that. If
and
you
be
are
funded for it.
You should be funded. You see, it is not enough because the lives that the students normally stay there in the universities, I think it is very discouraging. You see, students, apart from the school fees, we have now touched about their welfare. They are maybe source of maybe how they normally survive. You see, in every universities, there is a slummy area that is normally, that is where students hapo ndipo gwanga
mbona umeangalia Ojwang umeangalia macho kando. You see, there is inaitwa lower Membli estate.
Lower Membli.
Yeah. You see, there is this issue when the government maybe the issue of maybe affordable housing. There is the senator of Kisii was saying, Mr. Onyonka was saying that the government should maybe have even started maybe by even constructing hostels for students. I think for students, because I think
and then give them
students
employment
are suffering.
to construct those houses.
You see, I think nowadays, when you go to the university, you just know like you have gone to suffer. And that is what is hindering most of our university students from even acquiring that real education. Because back then, I think those who are going to the universities, they used to stay like a better lifestyle. You see, like even if you are studying, you are kind of maybe your interaction, you are managing to do and to live a quality lifestyle. But of now, like going to the university, you know that you will suffer hunger, like getting the 3 meals. Imagine a university student, how can you even maybe walk there, maybe with your feeling like you are a university material person, then walk and you are actually with your empty stomach, then you know that you have not paid fees, so you are scared, I might not do my exams, and such other things.
So much turmoil.
And this is happening so much in the public universities.
Okay.
Actually, you see, the issue about Moi University, it is just an example. If you dig deeper in some of these universities,
this is a problem in most
there is a huge problem.
Okay.
And the government is trying to avoid addressing the real issue.
Okay.
It is trying to impose and say that we are doing this, we are actually making these things better, but it is not working.
Right.
Now, for instance, imagine a parent who sent their student, maybe their pupil, maybe they sent their sons to come and study at the university for a whole semester. That person have been eating, they have been paying the rent, then you are told that you won't sit for the exams.
Because you haven't
because the
received your help.
university, the management has issues. There is no, we are outside. Even the issue about the lecturers striking, or maybe the staff for the universities, like the government is not listening, and they are saying the government, you will come today, you agree, then the part of implementing the government will disappear. You won't see them.
You will sign agreements but not implement
they
them.
won't implement. So I feel even if the government is having the best intention maybe of bringing forth the change and maybe enhancing one, the government should not be in haste of implementing their projects. They should take it slow. Let them first of all analyze these projects that they are having, the model, maybe the funding models. Then after they have analyzed, they have seen this thing is viable, then they can proceed and make it and implement them. So that we can avoid this issue of back and forth because we are not progressing. Yeah.
In short, don't use us as lab rats.
Don't. They shouldn't, and they should avoid that.
The Standard, Ojwang, Mariam, save us from Israel bombs. Kenyans living in Lebanon are calling for the government to intervene and rescue them from this. It's a huge crisis, according to Mombasa women rep who's quoted here. And also there are others who are abroad and in Kenya with family, saying they don't know what they are going to do, how Kenyans can be helped. Na kuna Wakenya pia niko sure ambao wako maeneo ya Palestine. It's just that because of the kind of government we have, we're not focused on bringing them back, but we're focusing on exporting
taking them
more people out there. Page 8 is where they're saying trapped in the crossfire. Kenyan workers plead for evacuation. Hundreds of Kenyans are stranded in the war-stricken country. Mental and emotional turmoil. I saw a statement by Netanyahu, who's the Prime Minister of Israel, saying to the people of Lebanon, anawaambia bombs zinakuja, poleni, but this is the only way we can. So either get out of your houses and let us bomb them so that we can eradicate wanaitwa Hezbollah. Ama pia nyinyi mtaperish.
Inauma.
Ojwang, speak of Kenyans and also just generally the state of war that's happening across the world.
Nilikuwa nasoma cries za watu hapo hivyo. Kuna mama anauliza, anasema, I don't want to go back to my country in casket, because if I do, who will take care of my 3 children? So wenye wako huko ni wazazi. Walitoka hapa hivi wakijua wameenda huko for greener pastures. Hiyo kitu imefanya nifikirie sana, man. Greener pastures may not be what we as humans perceive. Because if greener pastures is what you see with your eyes, sielewi vile mtu anaweza toka Congo as a Bantu, mahali ndo central kumejeza kila kitu, uende Ukambani. Umeshika? Na useto huko kama your homeland, unauliza go kwenyu ni wapi? Unasema kwetu ni Ukambani. Knowing how dry that land is. Lakini wale ndo walikuwa wajanja zaidi, walijua kule hivyo ukiteremka kote mpaka coast. Unajua kote hiyo ni Ukambani. Wa coast wengi wa hiyo side ni Wakamba. Akina Kimwele. Ni juu kuna gold. Kuna hizo minerals chini. but sisi wengine tulikimbia tuende mahali tunaweza
Tunaweza
panda
kunywa
miti na
maji.
tukate miti.
Mm.
So hivyo ndivyo wengine wanatoka wanaenda nchi za ugaibuni, but it doesn't mean that your life gets better because someone else's life got better. As a country, we should be encouraging people to work here, labor here. Tunapeleka watu KMTC, wale warembo wote wanaenda US. Mwenye msichana kwa confidence yake anajifeel like mimi si mrembo, you know, beauty lies in the eyes of beholders, but wewe mwenye you have to agree with yourself that you are beautiful or not. Ukijiconsider you are not beautiful, unaenda unatafuta kazi Kiambu Hospital. Ukijiconsider uko beautiful, unatafuta kazi Mexico ama unaingia US ama unaenda Qatar na Lebanon. Our government should make policies that are enhancing or improving the state of industrialization in the country. Ndio ukimaliza kusoma KMTC, si wewe umekuwa certified nurse, unafungua farm yako, unaajiri wengine 3 from your class. Kama wewe ni daktari, tuache kupeleka watoto wa maskini pekee kwa hiyo course ya udaktari. Mtoto wa tajiri atasema sitaenda juu hiyo course iko too expensive na hauko assured utapata job. What if we train them, wamalize,
watujengeze hospitali,
na waajiri
marafiki zao, classmates.
Wanasema zinajuana kwa vilemba, si ndio? We work so much better at KUTV because we are a family. Wewe na producer mnaelewana, wewe na producer mnasikizana na camera person, vitu kama hivyo. But our education system na policies ambazo tuna create ndo zinafanya tufukuze watu. Alafu watu wakifika huko wapate mashida, hatutaki kuwachukua. Ndo maana Mombasa Women Rep Zamzam analia, anasema where did the humanity go to? Unapata in Daily Nation wana report on page 7 that in kutengeneza hizi new policies tunafaa kuwa involved sote kama countries, kama counties za hii Kenya. But wanasema there is uproar as selective hearings on new tax laws. Skiza. The National Assembly has kicked off public participation hearings on amendments to various tax laws amid concerns over an attempt to leave out some regions.
They're doing it in only 6 counties.
Only 6 counties. I will tell you why. But before I tell you why, the committee chaired by Molo MP Kuria Kimani started the hearing in Isiolo and Bungoma and is expected to hold 4 other sessions in Mombasa, Siaya, Taita Taveta and Kericho counties on Tuesday. Leo. Umesikia ni gani na gani? Mombasa, mahali ambapo wametoa Joho. So badala ya kuwekea Joho homecoming, mwekee kitu kama
public participation.
Mudanganyana ni public participation. Toka hapo ingia Siaya. Sawa? Siaya hayo maeneo wamechukua watu wawili, John Mbadi na Energy CS Opio Wandai. Hiyo tu ni kusema tu asante pale hivyo. Siasa na kipindi. But kwa bunge wataiita a public participation that happened in Kenya. That these amendments tumezikubali. As a country we need to take public participation very serious.
Yeah. All right.
Ndio maana nashukuru sana kuona the voice of church ikiingia hapo hivyo. Because the policies our MPs are making are not representing us.
Right.
They are representing the presidency alone.
Okay.
And not the presidency, because the presidency should be a representation of the people. They are representing Ruto.
Okay.
That is not fair.
That is not fair at all. 9:56 in the morning. Muriithi, I'll give you a chance to do 1-minute submission. Page 5 of the Standard, governors threaten to shut down counties because the COG says they are yet to receive the funds that they're supposed to have gotten. The national government is saying washapewa pesa, but kuna shida. The Senate approved 400 billion as equitable share for the counties, but the parliament, ambayo ina sit below it, said minus 20B. So it should be 380B. So the governors are saying hawajapata hii pesa yote. Senators wanasema mshapewa pesa yote. Government wanasema mshapewa pesa yote. MPs wanasema hakuna pesa mnapewa ingine. So they're saying in 30 days, they're giving a 30 days ultimatum in January 2025, counties might shut down. Yeah. So that's happening as also lecturers give a 24-hour ultimatum. Wakisema isiposikizwa, strike inashika inazidi hadi next year. So that's something that you can read for yourself. Final submissions by Muriithi on. Also, you can bring up anything that I might left. We have a minute at most.
Okay, thank you very much.
Yes.
think as we finalize it, like what we need to understand, me, I will bring the issue of the young people, of the young people and the government.
Yeah.
You see, the young people have a greater role. You see, our forefathers, they managed to deliver independence to us with pangas and with no education. Yeah.
Yes.
But here we are. We have our own government, who we are the ones who elected the government, and here we are here holding this government accountable. We should not allow the leaders that we have to take us the direction they are taking us.
Okay.
For sure, we should come and rise up and call the government to order. Let us hold them accountable. Let us not allow them maybe taking away the education that we only have. What else will we remain with there? Our parents are suffering. They are sick. The shift, the SHA thing, nothing is working in the hospitals. So you see all these things that the government is trying to impose for us. We should be cautious and we should be very much alert.
Okay.
Let every young person, let us not be sycophant, because one thing that young persons or young people normally do, they are normally after maybe something, and maybe you come there, you are compromised, and then you disappear. Like what we are seeing. So let us not do that.
Okay.
Let us, our young people should love our country, and we should come forward and make sure we have fought for ourselves.
Thank
you. Thank you very much for having me today.
Right.
I think with time we shall be engaging more.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Thank
So
you, Muriithi.
yeah, asante sana.
All right.
Welcome.
Ojwang, remember useme tu bye. It's 9:59.
Yeah,
So you can only say bye.
So counties to shut down,
Yeah.
ni kitu serious
Sana.
tunafaa kusikiza. So if the government is not listening to us, it should listen to itself through the counties.
Yes.
Wacha nimalizie hapo.
Malizia hapo. Asante sana Ojwang. Mariam, the back of the Business Daily. We have the man who lost a fight that was scripted on the weekend. Mike Tyson v. Achara niachie hapo. But they made $60 million collectively. Here alipata $20 million yake. He decided alijifanya ame lose. I regret staying up on Friday night to wake up to 4 a.m. to watch this. But he's the one with the quote at the back of the Business Daily. Mike Tyson, US professional boxer, says, "You can't give kids a fighting chance if you don't give them a fighting mind." You can't give kids a fighting chance if you don't give them a fighting mind, which echoes what Muriithi is saying. Don't allow them to take away the education that we have. If you don't have it, we have no fighting chance. Thank you very much for tuning in to Biashara Tuesday this morning. It's been exciting having you on the live stream. Always big up to you. See me next week on Tuesday here for the same conversation. But on Monday, you have Ojwang Mariam to start you off with Art and Culture Monday. So Rise Today comes to you those 2 days of the week, 7 a.m. to 10 a.m. Interact with me outside of social platforms. Richard Okenye is my name. And I leave you with this tweet from... I didn't get the username, but it's a response to anyone who gives you information ambayo unasikia ni kama haelewi kitu nasema. Let's start wearing life jackets when engaging in topics beyond our depths. You are all drowning and it's not cute. Biashara Tuesday is out. I'll see you around.